All right. Hey, everybody. Coach Stacy Lynn here with my bling whistle, as you all know. Anyway, hey, I wanted to welcome you to this video, and hopefully, I'm hoping that my dog won't interrupt me. He misses me even when I'm in the same room with him. But anyway, how many of you watched the Righteous Reformation podcast over the weekend, or well, live stream? It was very good, wasn't it? I'm going to be commenting on that in a future video. But today I had already had planned what I wanted to talk about today because I saw this last week and then I saw something today that really, it makes me want to talk about this first. And that is this fake obituary going around the internet. I'm going to show this to you in case you haven't seen it, and then I'm going to tell you why I'm really upset about it. So first thing I'm going to do here is make sure that I have my right screen shared here. And I'm going to share the screen with you. You guys know I'm super good at this, right? Okay. So I wrote here on my Facebook page, just ignore that part. This is a fake obituary going around, okay? And the sad part about this obituary is that there's thousands and thousands of people talking about how great this obituary is. But let's read it. So it says here, Jerusalem Times obituaries 33 AD. Okay, first of all, that year is wrong, even though it's a common understanding that Jesus died in 33 AD. It's actually not true, and I will share with you something here to show you why I believe that that's not true. If you look here, I'm going to share the screen with you. This is from the website of Dr. Arnold Fruchtenbaum, who founded Ariel Ministries, which is a Messianic Jewish ministry. And this is a question somebody asked: is the Jewish calendar or Christian calendar the correct one? Which one should believers in Yeshua follow? So Arnold says neither the Christian, which is the Gregorian calendar, nor the Jewish calendar is correct. The Gregorian calendar was based upon an attempt to include Yeshua's birth year in the counting of time. However, without having all the historical facts at the time that this was done, there was a discrepancy. Today, it's possible to pinpoint with a fair amount of accuracy the actual year Messiah was born by correlating Luke's account with Matthew's and other historical sources from this period, especially Josephus, who was a Jewish historian, in case you don't know. Four basic clues will be considered. The first clue concerns the year Herod died, which was the year 4 BC. The gospel accounts clearly state that when Yeshua was born, Herod the Great was alive. This means the Messiah was born before the year 4 BC. The second clue pertains to the decree that was issued in the days of Quirinius, or more precisely around the year 8 or 7 BC. Luke's point is that the Messiah was born after Quirinius ordered the census. The first two clues combined give a 3 to 4 year parameter, indicating that Yeshua was born somewhere between 8 and 4 BC. Then it says here, the date can be narrowed down even further. According to Josephus, Herod left Jerusalem for Jericho in the year 5 BC, which is where he spent the last year of his life. He died in Jericho, never again to return to Jerusalem. Matthew stated that when the wise men met with Herod, he was still in Jerusalem. We can therefore deduce from Josephus's writings that the gospel account that they would have arrived in Jerusalem in or before the year 5 BC. This serves as the third clue. The last clue concerns Yeshua's age. When the wise men met King Herod in or before the year 5 BC, the Messiah was already about 2 years old. Putting all these clues together, we can conclude that Yeshua was born sometime between the year of 7 and 6 BC. Hence, the Christian calendar is off by approximately 7 years. For example, the year 2000 had already occurred between 1993 and 1994. Anyway, my point in sharing this is that even though it's common knowledge among people that 33 AD is the year that Yeshua died, that's actually not true based on what I just read you. So Jesus was closer to 37 or so when he actually died, not 33. Maybe he even was 38. But anyway, that aside, that's not what I really wanted to point out in this particular thing. I'm going to go ahead and go back here and share this fake obituary again. Okay, so here's the fake obituary. All right, so here's an obituary. Jesus Christ, 33, which we already know that's wrong based on what I just shared with you. Of Nazareth. Yes, he was known as Jesus of Nazareth. Died Friday on Mount Calvary, also known as Golgotha, the place of the skull. Betrayed by the apostle Judas. Jesus was crucified by the Romans by order of the ruler Pontius Pilate. The causes of death were crucifixion, extreme exhaustion, severe torture, and loss of blood. Well, what's interesting is that that's actually really not the cause of his death. In fact, he was put to death, but technically, actual coroners who've studied this issue believe that Christ actually died of a broken heart when he gave up his life. He literally gave up his life. And they say that he died of a broken heart because when they put a spear in his side, the blood and the water came out, thereby indicating a broken heart. So the actual cause of death, even though he was put to death on a cross, by the way, he was put to death with nails here and here and in his feet, was probably literally a broken heart, just so you know. So that's wrong. Jesus Christ, a descendant of Abraham, was a member of the house of David. He was the son of the late Joseph, a carpenter of Nazareth, and Mary, his devoted mother. All right. This is why I'm angry about this fake obituary of Jesus, because Jesus was not the son of Joseph. Jesus was not the son of Joseph. Joseph was Mary's husband, and he would have been Jesus's stepfather. Jesus's father is God. Jesus is the Son of God. And by this obituary, putting it this way, I don't know if the person who wrote it is thinking they're cute or not, but what the person who wrote this did was they completely stripped Jesus of his deity by writing that, and it's complete hurt. It's wrong. It's flat out wrong. And people, all these Christians are praising this obituary. Jesus was not the son of the late Joseph. He was a stepson, and it says here of Nazareth and Mary, his devoted mother. This also needs to be changed because Mary was a virgin. So whoever wrote this is ripping out the whole miraculous birth of Jesus. They're ripping out the fact that that the Holy Spirit overshadowed Mary, that Mary conceived supernaturally, and that she gave birth as a virgin. And that Joseph, because he was a good man and he was visited by angels to stay married with her, actually stayed married with her. Okay. They completely rip out the deity of Christ in here. That's why I personally find this highly insulting. And the number of Christians who are praising this quote obituary as so great, they're so clueless about how wrong this is. Anyway, goes on here to say Jesus was born in a stable in the city of Bethlehem, Judea. He is survived by his mother Mary and his faithful apostles, numerous disciples, and many other followers. Jesus was self-educated and spent most of his adult life working as a teacher. And that's actually not right. That's also wrong. Jesus went to school just like everybody else. He didn't work as a teacher. He was actually a carpenter. And it says here, Jesus also occasionally worked as a medical doctor. And it is reported that he healed many patients. This is also wrong. Jesus was never a medical doctor. And this here also takes away from the deity of who Christ is and the miracles that he done. If he was a medical doctor and he reported that he healed many patients, the implication is that as a medical doctor, he prescribed medication or some type of treatment, which then made these people better. Jesus isn't a medical doctor. He is the Son of God. He did miracles. He healed many people of many things. He cast out demons. He rose people from the dead. He wasn't a medical doctor. So that's also highly insulting to me as a Bible believer. And it says here, up until the time of his death, Jesus was teaching and sharing the good news. The good news about what? Healing the sick, touching the lonely, feeding the hungry, and helping the poor. Jesus was most noted for telling parables about his Father's kingdom and performing miracles, such as feeding over 5,000 people with only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, and healing a man who was born blind. You know what's funny about this paragraph is it completely contradicts this paragraph over here. It completely contradicts it. Well, so who is like, okay, does Joseph have a kingdom? Well, he's talking about Joseph's kingdom here because he was the son of the late Joseph. So his father's kingdom, who's performing miracles, what, Joseph had a kingdom? No, Joseph didn't have a kingdom. This is where he is now talking about his real father's kingdom, his heavenly father, the Son of God, right? So he was noted for telling parables about his father's kingdom. And that's because the Israelis, the religious leaders rejected him when he actually presented him as the king of Israel, as the Messiah. They rejected him. Sorry, this just drives me crazy. Anyway, so yes, Jesus did perform miracles. Well, here, wow, here he's actually talking about miracles. Up here, he's claiming he's a medical doctor. Do medical doctors perform miracles? No, they don't. They do medicine. Only God allows miracles to happen. So at least that part is kind of right. Such as feeding over 5,000 people with only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish and healing a man who was born blind. Why was that important? Because it was only a messianic miracle that could do that, people. That's why that's important. But does this dumb obituary show that? No, it doesn't. Anyway, on the day before his death, he held a Last Supper. He didn't hold a Last Supper. He partaked in a Passover feast. It just happened to be his Last Supper, which he foretold his death. The body was quickly buried in a stone grave, which was donated by Joseph of Arimathea, a loyal friend of the family. By order of Pontius Pilate, a boulder was rolled in front of the tomb. Roman soldiers were put on guard. Well, why was that the case? Why did they put Roman soldiers on guard? What were they afraid of? If he was just a mere man who was the son of Joseph and he was a medical doctor, then why? Yeah. Then it says here, in lieu of flowers, the family has requested that everyone try to live as Jesus did and believe in him. Donations may be sent to anyone in need. Well, whereas that's all fine and cute and dandy, it's completely unbiblical to its core because it's completely diminishing the deity of Jesus. And you know what's really interesting to me about this and why this just gets my ire up as a Bible believing Christian is because biblical illiteracy is absolutely ridiculous. And I want to show you another part of an article I found. It was actually sent to me. And this is actually why I'm not surprised by the fact that so many people are like, oh, this is such a great obituary of Jesus. It's not, but let me share this with you. All right, I'm gonna share this with you. All right, so this is part of an article. about research, about Bible reading. So here is part of an article, and this part of the article says factors that hinder Bible reading. Consistent with national surveys, we found Bible ownership almost universal among our survey sample. Nearly all respondents, 99.9%, owned Bibles, with 4.5% owning one Bible and the majority, 50.5%, owning 3 to 5 Bibles. Okay. Relatively few respondents, 20.8% read the Bible as a family growing up. The vast majority of respondents indicated that the Bible was relevant to their everyday lives. So if I were to interview you and you're a Christian, you would say, oh yeah, the Bible is totally relevant. Like 98.7% say that. And they would say it was their life authority, 96.7%. However, only 1/2 read the Bible daily, with another 37% reading it more than once a week, but not daily. Only 2 out of 5 respondents had read the entire Bible. By the way, I would be one of those too, because I have read the entire Bible numerous times. When asked what hindered their Bible reading, most participants indicated they were, quote, too busy. We found disconnects between how people view the Bible as a life authority and how they read and study God's word in free form text responses. Respondents gave 11,025 reasons for not reading the Bible, such as feeling overwhelmed, distracted, or tired. Over 11,000 reasons were given by Christians who own their Bible and said it was important to them about why they don't read the Bible. And this is so evident because you got a stupid obituary going around the internet that's gone viral right here during Holy Week. That is a complete insult to actually somebody like me who reads the Bible and saw clearly that it's taking and ripping the deity of Christ completely out of it. Why would we even care about an obituary of Jesus? These people didn't even put in there that he rose from the dead, right? I mean, and not only that, but most obituaries are written at least a week after a person dies, not within a few days. I'm just saying, people. So I could go on and on, but my dog just came down. He's going to be driving me nuts. And I have a meeting anyway. But I wanted to bring this to your attention because one of the things that I coach and I help people with is their struggles with Bible reading. And I offer Bible reading accountability. Sometimes if I get enough people, I actually do it in a group. Why? Because people have 11,025 reasons why they don't read the Bible. And most people reading this fake obituary of Jesus can't even see what an insult it is to him because the author of it completely ripped out the fact that he was God in it by claiming that he was the son of Joseph. Now, I don't know, maybe some of you are going, well, you're just, a little, you're legalistic. Whatever, right? No, I'm not legalistic. I'm somebody that loves Jesus and I love his word very much. And when I see something this stupid going viral, because Christians are so biblically illiterate and they're reading this going, oh my gosh, look at that. There's an obituary of Jesus. First of all, it's a high insult that somebody even came up with the idea. Because you know what the underpinning message of that is? That Jesus died and he never rose again. And you know what? That is a lie because Jesus did die, but he rose again and he's living today. And he has a lot of real disciples all over the world who are loving him and worshiping him and living for him and trying to declare his truth in a time when the world and the church in particular is extremely apostate. An apostate church doesn't believe Jesus is God. An apostate church thinks that Jesus was a human. There are many so-called Christians that actually think Jesus sinned. And if that was the case, what would be the point of his death in the first place? There would be no point. I don't need a sinner to die for me. So, um, anyway, so I hope that if you see this idiotic obituary of Jesus going around, that you leave a comment and you say, look, dudes, Jesus was the Son of God. He was not the son of Joseph. He was a stepson. Joseph was not his biological son. Jesus was God. Jesus is God, and his deity is missing from this obituary. Just saying, people. Okay, so I'm a little irritated by this. And I'm saddened because people who say they're Christians, they own all these Bibles, but they don't know a darn thing about what is actually in it. And the fact that you have so many people praising this fake obituary, it makes me wonder, do these people even believe the resurrection happened? I don't know, but I'm sure I will share more later, but I actually do have to go. So um, if you haven't subscribed to me yet, feel free. And I will see you in my next video, hopefully in a day or two.